So since my last tier list video seemed to do pretty well, I'm bringing you guys another tier list. Today we're going to be going over my picks for the top low cap altcoins in crypto. Last time it was just, the default kind of large caps that you could find on the tier list maker, and I didn't really know too much about all the coins on there, so it might not have been the most fair ranking, but everything in this video I do personally own. I have researched them quite a bit, so I think I can give you guys a really fair ranking here, and I do think everything on here is a really good pick. I don't think anything on this list would be an F tier choice, or I don't think any of these are necessarily bad. Some of them are a little bit more risky. They are low caps, right? So what qualifies as a low cap, in my opinion, that's going to be under $100 million market cap. Some of these are around 100 million, but try to keep it to $100 million market cap or under. So all of these coins definitely have potential to do 100x's, even from current price point, even though many of them have already done 10x's, 20x's for some. But yeah, let's just jump into it. So first coin here, looks like we got GFL, Games for a Living, similar to a Gala Games, but the team behind it's more professional in my opinion. They got the founder of EA backing them, and while their games might not be something I would play, they do seem like they're more gamer focused, and they are trying to build products that people would actually continue playing, rather than something like Gala Games where they're just trying to make games for the sense of making games, just making just putting out genres to have those genres in their portfolio. So I do think GFL could do at least what Gala Games did last bull, and we all know Gala Games spiked up to billions of dollars of market cap, and with GFL sitting at only 50 million, I think it's a pretty safe pick for high returns on this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put GFL in B tier. The only reason it's not going A or S is just because I think the narrative of gaming tokens was for last cycle. I think AI plays are going to be the big narrative this time, and since it's not an AI play, I just don't think I can put it in higher tier. But as far as gaming tokens go, I think it's kind of your safest pick. Next up, Octaspace. This is an AI play. This is actually my top pick for an AI play, especially at current market cap. It's only sitting around $20 million market cap. It's in the DePIN space, Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. I believe that's what it stands for. So you use your computer similar to mining a coin, but instead of mining, you're actually helping people complete tasks on a decentralized network. What are these tasks? Well, the big ones they have are VPN and rendering. So if you make an animation, let's say in Blender, you want to render it, but you don't have a good computer, maybe you just have a laptop, well, you can rent out other people's GPUs on the web, pay them in Octa, and you can now render your animations using the web, similar to Render Token. So it's a big competitor to Render. So it's a it's a competitor to Render, but Render, they essentially just do server hosting, so it's not decentralized. There's no utility for the actual token. They kind of just use the Render token to fund their project, and that's why I think Octa is a much better play. Not only do they have this rendering infrastructure, but they also have infrastructure for virtual private networks. They're also a layer 1. They have an Octa DEX, so they have a DEX on them. They have a small ecosystem already. It's an EVM network, so it's very easy to build on Octaspace. I think this project has insane room to grow. I think it could easily do 100x, even 1000x's from current price. I would not doubt that this gets into the billions of dollars of market cap very, very soon. And at only 20 million, this is going straight to S tier for a great low cap play. Recently, it has kind of shot up. It's about 100% in the last week or so. So, would I be buying it now? Maybe, because it did just get into price discovery, just kind of holding the all-time highs as support. So you might have to FOMO now. You might want to wait for a pullback. There's no financial advice here, but Octa is definitely an S tier pick for me. Next up, this is going to be Radiant. The future is radiant is kind of their slogan. This is a similar play to Caspa. If you watched my last video, Caspa was straight up to S tier as my favorite crypto kind of all time. I think it really is going to be your top dog, right up there with Bitcoin eventually in the future. But Radiant, on the other hand, I just don't see it getting anywhere close to Caspa and market cap, because it doesn't have the security down, in my opinion. While it is a fast network, I believe it also is a little bit scalable as well, but it doesn't have smart contracts right now. But the main reason I'm not the biggest fan is because I don't feel like they run their community very professionally. They are fundraising right now to get listed on Mexi. They've been fundraising in their Discord for a while now. I don't think that's a bullish thing to be doing. I don't really know if I see this getting on tier 1 exchanges in the future. I know they got listed on like XT for free, so there are exchanges that are recognizing them and listing them for free, because they do have some volume, but it's really nothing compared to other plays with even similar market caps. So the fact that they're not even on MEXC or some of these other sketchy exchanges yet, I just don't see them getting to billions of dollars in market cap this cycle. I might be wrong, but I just think they're another layer 1. There's nothing too special about them, so I'm just going to throw it in D tier. It definitely could do really well. It is a pretty low market cap, but there's no narrative outside of it being just another layer 1 that's similar to Caspa. And I do think Caspa will kind of carry the layer 1 narrative this cycle. People will obviously be looking for yield in similar coins that have a lower market cap, so I don't think it'll perform bad. And actually, current price right now, if you were going to buy any coin on this list, this wouldn't be the worst one to buy, just because it's making a just massive kind of double bottom on a weekly time frame. It's really near the lows, all-time lows. So the chart does look like it's set up for a big rally, but it's just going to have to go in D tier, unfortunately. Next up, we have Tectum, the Tectum emission token. This is another new one for 2023. I guess I should mention all 3 of these that I've ranked so far are also new for 2023. So always want to get into those new coins for the bull market. But Tectum, what they do is it's a soft node system. So they essentially wrap up other layers into a soft node, so that you can have your own wallet digitally. It's kind of like a digital credit card, and you use their token as emission for that. Something really bullish I found about this project is they can actually take physical gold and create a soft note for it. So it's one of the first cryptos, maybe the first one that might actually be able to pull it off, where they could take commodities, physical assets, wrap them up into a soft note, and deploy them to the blockchain. I think they could maybe even do this with the real estate or something like that. There's a lot of possibilities to the token. The team is very based. I really do enjoy the team. They're on Twitter Spaces all the time. They definitely seem very legitimate, and like they're building. So I definitely like Tectum. The price is at a decent buying point. It did pull a 10x, but it's pulled down a nice 30-40% from the high, so wouldn't be the worst pick to be buying now. I'm gonna go ahead and put Tectum in B tier, right up there with GFAL. All right, next up we have Viat. Viat's an interesting one. It is an AI play. It's a legal assistant for the blockchain, so I'm assuming if you're a developer, or if you just own a lot of crypto, you're doing taxes, this is an AI assistant that can help you with, I don't know about legal advice, but legal forms. It's a very interesting type of play. At first I didn't think it would be anything too big, but the price has performed very, very well. It seems to be a big utility for people. They're really looking for this kind of AI assistant. They have some good partnerships too. I'm going to go ahead and put Viat probably in C tier. It's going to be a solid AI play, because people just look at it as an AI play and they just buy it based off of that. So with its low market cap, I do think it'll continue to perform very, very well. I just don't think it's as good as other AI plays, obviously. So that's going to go in C tier. Next up, we have Alephium. Alephium is another layer 1, similar to Radiant, similar to Caspa, but it's been performing a lot better. I think the team is much more professional than Radiant. They are listed on more exchanges. I do think this will get on all tier 1 exchanges, no doubt about it. It's pulled a 20x already, 25x from Pico low to Pico top. So this has been my best performer this cycle. I think it'll continue to perform very well. And what makes this so good is that it has an ecosystem being built around it, whereas Radiant does not. A big reason for this is they do actually have a form of smart contracts implemented into their chain. So they're doing a lot of building. There's a lot of people building on them. And obviously development correlates to price. So this is why it's been a massive performer this year. I do think it'll continue to perform well, like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Alephium right up there in A tier. Pip. Pip is one that no one really knows about. What they do is they make Cash App for crypto. It's feeless. They're incubated by Binance, funded by Coinbase. So those tier 1 exchange listings, I do believe, are going to happen for certain on this guy. It is based out of China. You know, they don't have the best marketing ever. They don't have the most downloads on their Google Play app, but it is coming to the App Store soon. So I think that'll be a massive news event. They will probably start pushing it to tier 1 exchanges at that point. I do think this could be a massive performer coming up soon. It's another one that just double bottomed on a weekly time frame like Radiant, so buying it now could be a really good play. With that lower market cap, this is a potential 1000x. I could see it going to, you know, $1 billion, $2 billion, somewhere in there, if they can really start pushing out their platform to normies, right? If they can get their app pushed out there on iPhones and, you know, get a, you know, large community actually using their payment service, this could perform very, very well. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in C tier. The only reason it's not going higher is because, like I said, there's just not enough people that know about them currently. Their daily volume is very, very low. So it's kind of risky. You're kind of just gambling on if they're going to be able to do it. But if they do, it'll perform extremely, extremely well. And it could be the top performer on this list. But, you know, of course, for the higher rewards, you're going to be risking more. They also do have a very high inflation on the token, which is why the chart is another thing that's not the greatest about it. Is they do have a very high inflation on their token, and that's obviously a big part of why they're at their lows right now. But, you know, that double bottom on the weekly doesn't lie, and it might just take off from here. Next up, DexCheck. DexCheck is another AI play. This is an AI assistant for trading. Not really as much of an assistant, but a website that you can go to, and it has analytics for on-chain tokens. You can go through, you know, top holders, track everything going on chain. So I know there's a lot of coins that are trying to do this now because it's not a very difficult thing to do. It's not a very difficult project, in my opinion, to come up with. But I think they're the best at doing it. They are really good at marketing. They're going to get those tier 1 exchanges, in my opinion. You know, DexCheck is another one. I think $1 billion market cap is really possible because of that AI narrative. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in C tier. Again, the reason it's not higher is because I don't think what they're doing is that difficult or amazing. There are a lot of other projects very similar, but DexCheck is just the best, and they have really good branding. So there you go, C tier. Next up, this is Hourglass Wait. This is, you know, Shark Tank coin. Not too much more to say about it. I don't like their show. I think it was terrible. They do have George onboarded, so when retail comes back in, that's your biggest hope for this. But other than that, I don't think it's deserving of anything more than D tier. So yeah, not too much more to say about that. It's just kind of a bad show. Miria, this is another gaming token, very similar to GFAL, kind of like that games for a living. You know, I do like that it's built on Ethereum rather than BNB like GFAL, and I think, you know, obviously people are less scared to be buying ETH coins. So, you know, it has performed very, very well. It's done over a 10x already. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in B tier. It's pretty much the same thing as GFAL. All right, up next we have Hello. Hello is another Shark Tank show. I'm sure you guys all know about this one. They have much better marketing than Wait. Their show looks a lot better, but just because there's no real utility for it other than buying their show, they're really just relying on hype, and that's why it's always going to be a big sell the news token. But, you know, retail will love to get into this when the bull really kicks off. So, you know, I'll give it a C tier. I can't really give it much more, though. I don't think the narrative is there for it outside of being a big sell the news event for season 2. So, you know, get in before season 2. When it launches, sell it. You'll probably make some good money. Next up, we have Tau Batenzer. This is your big AI play this cycle. This is the blue chip AI play. It's proved itself in price action. It's proved itself in ecosystem. They have a ton of subnets for it now. It is your chat GPT of crypto, of decentralized computing. It is massive. I don't think this will go anywhere in the next 20 years. I think this be massive utility just in general, even outside of crypto. I think Tau is building something really special here, and AI is about to take over, so I would not fade Tau Potenzer. It's going straight to S tier. It has performed extremely well, so if you're going to buy it now, I would caution you. Maybe wait for a little bit of a pullback. You might not get one, but it has kind of skyrocketed. It's a flying knife right now, but there's good reason for it. Tau Potenzer is an easy S tier in my opinion. Chain GPT is next, CGPT. This is a chain that's, building on the AI narrative. There are a lot of projects that integrate them. They were an early performer in the bull back when they launched. I do think they'll do really well. They have been doing pretty well. I think it's a very solid, kind of safe AI pick. I'd easily see them getting to billions of dollars in market cap. So this is going to be probably an A tier. It's going to be an A tier there just because the ecosystem around it. Realio, this is real world assets. So that's a different narrative than any other coin on this list. I do think it could be a very big narrative for this upcoming bull. The bull we're already kind of in. Something that people are really going to start looking at as they consider crypto to be more legitimate is, well, I want to actually buy stuff with my crypto, and that's where you get real world assets, essentially NFTs for IRL items. And I do think that's a pretty good narrative. I think being the top dog in that space should not be underrated. So I think Realio will continue to perform very well. I'm going to go ahead and put Realio in B tier. Next up, FabWelt. This is another gaming coin, very similar to GFAL or Miria, but I don't think they're as legitimate. They're not building games for gamers. They're building games to just make games so they can have more genres. The quality doesn't look good. I don't see anyone actually playing these games. You go to Twitch, they have some of their games on there. Every single time I've looked at them, they have 0 viewers, 0 people streaming them. So they're not going to get a big player base around them. But just for the narrative, the amount of games they have, the fact that the market cap is like $2 million, I do think it could perform very, very well. It could easily do 100x in a week, right? If they just pushed out a ton of marketing at the top of the bull, could really skyrocket if we see that gaming narrative pick back up. But because of the team being a little bit more fishy than others, the liquidity lock isn't always stable. They kind of renew it every 3 months. It's not got a ton of liquidity. There is a reason why it's at that low market cap. So it's going to be a D tier, but it could perform very, very well. This could absolutely go crazy and do 1000x's, but for that reward, again, a lot of risk. So it can't go any more than D tier. Syscoin. Syscoin is a Bitcoin fork. It has the security of Bitcoin. I do think it has a similar narrative to kind of Caspa or some of these other layer ones. It's trying to solve the trilemma of scalability, speed, and security. And this is the only coin in crypto that I know of that has done 100x in 2017, and it did 100x in 2020. Well, will it do 100x again? Possibly. Probably not, just because it didn't go down as far as it did between 2017 and 2020, right? So because of that, it probably won't do a 100x, but I think it's a very safe pick to be a really good performer. Probably going to price discovery once again. So Syscoin, I'm going to give it a C tier. The only reason it's not higher is because the narrative is going to be lacking this cycle. It's not an AI play. It's not real world assets. It's not a gaming token, which I think gaming is even a better narrative than, just a Bitcoin layer or a Bitcoin fork. So Syscoin, it's cool. Not a lot of people talk about them. I do think it can pick up some steam when there's a lot of yield chasing outside of Caspa for that similar narrative of solving the trilemma. So next up, this is Delicium, AGI. You essentially take an AI token and a gaming token and mesh them together, and this is what you get. It's a battle royale that integrates artificial intelligence into their chain, right? This is one that's been performing very, very well this past. I do think that gaming plus AI narrative cannot be underestimated. I do think it'll continue to perform very, very well. Not a lot of people have been talking about them yet. I'm going to go ahead and put Delicium up here into B tier. I don't think it's quite an A tier play just because their game doesn't look anything too crazy. They're kind of just making the gaming AI play for the sake of making that sort of narrative, so they can get a really high market cap. So since they're not actually building something for future utility, I just can't put it up there in A or S tier where you're gonna have ecosystems built around these tokens. And if I were to say anything else would go in A tier, it'd actually be probably Tectum here. I do think this could be interchangeable here, A or B. I kind of want to put Tectum actually in the A tier because I do think the possibilities with the soft note system is something we haven't seen in crypto before. So yeah, that's the final list there. I think again, all of these are really good plays. All of these will probably outperform any coin on that last tier list I did. If you're looking to watch another tier list video, make sure to subscribe because when it gets later into the bull, I'm going to be making one for meme coins. So that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's all for this video. I'm going to be headed out here. So I hope you guys have a good day. Later.